First things first on Quick Hits, we're going to get a little bit quirky before we get into the show. Apparently, a woman was found overhead in the storage bin on Southwest Airlines. Check it out.
A Milwaukee woman charged with killing a man who was allegedly sex trafficking her pleads guilty to a reduced charge.
That's right. Crystal Kaiser is accused of killing a Kenosha man back in 2018. She was 17 when she pleaded to a reduced count of reckless homicide, avoiding trial and a potential life sentence. Prosecutors say she also burned down his house and stole his car. She maintained the man had been molesting her and exploiting her as a prostitute, and that she shot him after he attempted to touch her again. She'll be sentenced in August.
The family of a U.S. Air Force member shot and killed by deputies in Florida believe officials were at the wrong home. 23-year-old Roger Fortson was killed last week after deputies responding to a disturbance call burst into his apartment and saw that he was armed. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump says Fortson had grabbed the gun to protect himself because the deputies did not identify themselves and blocked the peephole. The sheriff's office saying those claims are false.
Maybe I got the wrong clip. Let me fast forward to the end and see if we can get to the other side, because I need to start not reviewing this or reviewing this in real time instead of it just being played out. This is it's a lot going on in America. Maybe we need to expand Quick Hits.
You know, you get to pick your own seat, right? Some people joke it's a cattle call. One woman took it a little too literally. Yeah, her, right there, lying inside the overhead compartment. A flight out of New Mexico, curled up next to a suitcase, snug as a bug in a rug. Fortunately, a flight attendant found her before takeoff. Not sure what happened after that.
Wow. People are weird. All right, let's go to the next story of Quick Hits, ladies and gentlemen. Miss USA, apparently there's some ramblings within the organization. Let's check it out.
We're getting new insight about what led to a series of resignations at the Miss USA organization. Earlier this week, both Miss USA Noelia Voigt and Miss Teen USA Uma Sofia Servastova gave up their titles. Now, in a resignation letter obtained by CBS News from a source familiar with the matter, Voigt accused Miss USA leadership of creating a toxic work environment that included bullying and harassment.
Miss USA 2023 is...
Just 8 months after she was crowned Miss USA,
Utah!
Noelia Voigt wrote that her relationship with the pageant was unendurable and said she'd been diagnosed with anxiety because of the mental and emotional toll it had taken. In a resignation letter provided to CBS News by a source familiar with the matter, Voigt also said there is a toxic work environment within the Miss USA organization. She accused its president, Layla Rose, of being cold and unnecessarily aggressive.
Okay, all right. So wait a minute. Here's my question before we really start to deep dive into this. What does Miss USA and Miss Teen USA do? Just curious. Like, I know it's always been a thing. It's basically been in existence since before I was born, I'm assuming. And I'm trying to understand, what is the relevance today in 2024? Because, you know, things change, things evolve. We got social media now. It's a lot of IG models, OnlyFans is popping off. Chicks is getting flued out, et cetera, et cetera. What is the purpose of Miss USA? Just curious. What do they do? I'm not familiar. I don't know. I don't know what the contract is. I don't even know how they make money. What do they do?
And even threatening to take away her salary for not meeting Rose's personal preference. Voigt also said she was made to feel unsafe at events without an effective handler, including an experience where she claimed she was verbally, sexually harassed at a Christmas parade.
Oh, brother.
Voigt first announced she was stepping down from her role Monday in an Instagram post.
There is breaking news right now, and there's a secret code involved.
And some social media users noticed the opening letters of the statement's first 11 sentences spelled, "I am silenced." Beyond that post, Voigt hasn't publicly detailed why she chose to relinquish her crown, likely because Miss USA contestants signed restrictive non-disclosure agreements that bar them from speaking about the contest, their participation in it, or its organizers without the pageant's approval. Voigt's resignation came after the Miss USA social media director left her role last week, alleging that she had seen a decline in Voigt's mental health, plus disrespect toward Miss Teen USA, Sofia Srivastava. On Wednesday, Srivastava announced her resignation in an Instagram post of her own, writing, "My personal values no longer fully align with the direction of the organization."
When you have employees and two title holders stepping down, there are definitely questions to be asked.
Juliana Morehouse is last year's Miss Maine. She said her experience with the Miss USA pageant was positive, but she's part of a growing coalition of former contestants who are calling for the organization to release Voigt from her NDA.
We want Noelia to be able to speak on her experiences so that there can be some transparency.
They look regular. They look the same. I'm still trying to understand what the value of Miss USA still is. They just need to do away with the whole thing. Didn't like Trump own a portion of Miss USA or something like that at some point?
For us who are leaving a legacy behind and for the girls who are to come after us.
Now, in a statement, the Miss USA pageant told CBS News in part, every individual connected to such high-profile events is navigating their own personal journey. We are committed to fostering a healthy, communicative, and supportive environment. Rose, however, did not respond separately to our request for comment, but in a statement previously circulated to other media outlets, she said in part, quote, "I take these allegations seriously."
Yeah, this is really just no news. And this is one of the reasons why we just put it in quick hits, because I'm not really sure of the value of this particular segment. But in another feel-good story, because it is Friday and I want to make sure that I leave you guys in a good mood, a woman, formerly incarcerated single mother, passed the bar on her first try. Check it out.
I passed. Nice. I passed.
You did it.
It's not just a win for me, but it's a win for all of us. It's a win for Black women attorneys who only make up less than 2% of the profession, for formerly incarcerated women who less than 1% obtain graduate degrees, for single mothers. I think it's really important for people to see the image of a Black woman passing the bar with all of everything that I carry, but also know that I'm not carrying it alone. I've always dreamed of going to law school since I was younger. When I was 17, I was arrested, and at the time I was facing 25 years to life. It was just part of a conspiracy case. It was very common in Harlem at the time to do these kind of mass roundups of teenagers throughout the neighborhood. I had a very good support system. I was represented by Neighborhood Defender Service of Harlem, Abyssinian Baptist Church. They were excellent advocates. They assisted in my case and making sure that I was able to make bail and come home. And from that, I only served 6 months on Rikers Island, and then I had a few years of probation. I was on probation while I was in college, actually. It was about a little over 10 years ago now, but very much still affected by the impacts of incarceration. It's been very difficult, but I've worked so hard to remove the stigma and distance myself from the negative impacts. I mean, for me, of course, this means I get to be an attorney. I can continue to help people. I can continue to mentor, to share my story, and let people know that, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you're going and how you get here today.
Well, shout out to her. A feel-good story. One thing that I'm trying to understand is how come they always got to highlight how, you know, the person is a single mother and she's a Black girl and all of this stuff. It would have been incredible to just pass the bar on the first time after she had been incarcerated, but then you're a single mother on top of that and all of that. And that's the only part that I guess kind of bothers me, but I guess that's what adds to the story in order to make it more sensational. Because the only problem that I have with this, and I guess I don't have a problem with it at all, but the only problem that I have is it almost makes it seems like, in a way, and this is just the way that I took it, that it's okay to be a single mother and that you can still overcome your obstacles. You know, my goal is always to prevent people from becoming single mothers or to become incarcerated in the first place, but I understand. I get it. And I think that this is dope. It is also a good story to push people to realize that you are not your circumstances, you are not your past. And as long as you take ownership and responsibility of whatever it is that happened before, then you can absolutely make a better decision going forward. So shout out to her for passing the bar on the first try. I'm sure that she'll be continuing to be successful, and everything is going to absolutely work out in her benefit. Shout out to her.